There's a game none of us wants to play. It's called Russian roulette with your fork. Each meal, you lift your food to your mouth and wonder, is this bite the one? That was my life after my heart attack. I became the perfect prisoner. I took every pill my jailers, the doctors, gave me. I followed the strict diet for a heart patient to the letter. I did everything to prevent a second heart attack, to never see that look of terror in my wife's eyes again. But inside, I still felt like a ticking time bomb, a ghost haunting my own home. I had lost faith in my own body. If you have ever felt that moment of helplessness with your health, that feeling of walking a tightrope, no matter how hard you try, let me know by leaving the number 1 in the comments below. We need to know we are not alone in this. I lived in that era, until one day. One day, I was staring at a container of leftovers in my fridge, and I realized a horrifying truth. The enemy wasn't my weakened heart. The enemy was the food that became toxic when reheated. Familiar friends, silently betraying me, every single day. In this 30-minute video today, I won't just name these 5 traitors. That's too simple. More importantly, I will reveal something no doctor has the time to explain, the 3T protocol, a simple system I created to disarm these foods that cause heart attacks right at your dinner table. And for those patient enough to stay until the very end, your reward is my heart-safe kitchen shield. It's not a list. It is your ticket out of the prison of fear and the key to taking back control of your cardiovascular health. Do you want to know how the very first food on this list, one that 9 out of 10 of our families reheat, is silently hardening your arteries as we speak? Let's begin with yesterday's roasted chicken. Have you ever noticed a yellow stain suddenly appear on your wall at home? At first, you might ignore it. You paint a fresh coat over it. But then, a few weeks later, the stain bleeds through again, larger, darker. That's when you realize the problem isn't the paint. The real problem, the real enemy, is a pipe silently leaking inside that wall. A slow, silent destruction that you can't see until it's almost too late. Our cardiovascular health is the same. Symptoms like high blood pressure, fatigue, or shortness of breath, they are just the stains on the wall. They are warning signals. But the real enemy, the true, leaking pipe, is hiding deep inside the walls of our arteries. Today, I want us to turn on the lights and look squarely at these 2 hidden enemies. The first, and most dangerous, is called silent inflammation. Forget what you know about inflammation from a swollen cut. This is different. This is a smoldering fire, without smoke, without pain, winding its way through tens of thousands of miles of your blood vessels. Day after day, this fire slowly toasts the delicate, smooth lining of your arteries, turning them from a gentle river into a riverbed full of rough, jagged rocks. It is on these rough spots that plaque and blood clots find a place to form. When this fire of inflammation burns for long enough, it gives birth to the second enemy, arterial stiffness. Imagine this. The arteries of a young, healthy person are like a soft, flexible rubber hose. When the heart pumps, it expands gently. But that silent fire, along with age, turns that rubber hose into a rigid, brittle PVC pipe. And when the arteries have hardened, do you know what happens? Our heart. It has to overwork itself. It has to perform like an overloaded engine, trying to push blood through pipes that no longer cooperate. That is the deep root of high blood pressure and the prelude to future heart failure. Everything we eat, every choice we make in the kitchen, is either extinguishing this fire, or pouring fuel on it. I'd like to pause for a moment and ask you. Did this comparison of the leaking pipe and the PVC pipe make it easier for you to picture what's happening inside your body? If yes, please comment with the number 1. If it's still a bit confusing, please comment with the number 2, so I know to find a better way to explain it next time. Your feedback is priceless to me. And now that we have identified the enemy, let's see just how much fuel yesterday's roasted chicken poured on that fire. I'd like to share with you one of my favorite memories. It's the smell of a roast chicken on a Sunday afternoon. My wife and I had a tradition. We would always roast a big chicken, with crispy skin, fragrant with herbs. We'd eat half for lunch, and the other half, I would carefully store in the fridge. That was my treasure for the week. A chicken sandwich for Monday's lunch, some shredded chicken for Tuesday's dinner. It was convenient, economical, and I always thought, a healthy choice. The choice of a man who provides for his family. I was wrong. Wrong. I thought I was building a strong house for my health. But I didn't know there was a deceitful builder working in my kitchen. And that builder was the reheated roast chicken. The matter used to sabotage my house has a fancy name, but it is incredibly dangerous, Advanced Glycation End Products or AGEs. But I don't like that name. I call it by another name, one that you will never forget, sugar cement. When you roast a chicken the first time, the browning process creates wonderful flavor. But when you reheat it a second time, at high temperatures like in a microwave, a different chemical reaction happens. It creates tons of these microscopic, sugar cement, particles. These cement particles enter your bloodstream. And what do? They seek out the steel beams in our artery walls, the collagen, which keeps our arteries flexible. The sugar cement latches onto the collagen, creating cross-links, turning our flexible steel beams into a rigid block of concrete. That is how yesterday's chicken is silently pouring concrete into your vascular system. Little by little, every time you reheat it, it pours another layer of cement. And what is the result of this arterial stiffness? It's high blood pressure. It's an exhausted heart. Ever since I learned this, my treasure has changed. Now, if I have leftover chicken, I never reheat it. I shred it, mix it with green vegetables, some tomatoes, and drizzle it with extra virgin olive oil. I turn it into a meal that fights the silent fire, instead of feeding it. I have turned the deceitful builder into a trusted partner. Now, it's your turn. Does the name, sugar cement, make you think twice about reheating that chicken in your fridge? If yes, please comment with the number 1. If you don't find this concerning, comment with the number 2. I truly want to know what you think. And if you think the chicken was bad enough, just wait until you see how a food that we all eat for breakfast creates something even more dangerous than sugar cement. Let's discover the truth about eggs. My friends, do you remember? Throughout our lives, there is perhaps no food that has caused more storms than the egg. For decades, we were told that eggs were the number 1 enemy of cardiovascular health, that eating them would cause our cholesterol to skyrocket. Then, for other years, scientists would no, eggs are a superfood, a precious friend. They said we had misunderstood. What is the truth? Who was right, and who was wrong? That debate has left us all incredibly confused. Today, I will give you the final answer. They were both right. An egg can be your heart's best friend. But it can also become one of its worst enemies. And the switch that turns a friend into a foe lies in a seemingly harmless habit that millions of us perform every single morning. I used to be one of them. I thought I was the smartest man alive. Every weekend, I would hard-boil a dozen eggs and keep them in the fridge. Each morning, with just 30 seconds in the microwave, I had a hot, protein-rich breakfast. It was fast, convenient, and I thought, good for my heart. But in reality, I was handcrafting a weapon to use against myself. And this is the truth I discovered. There is a type of cholesterol that is even worse than bad cholesterol. Scientists call it oxidized cholesterol. But I call it by a name you will never forget, junk cholesterol. Imagine your blood vessels are a clean, smooth highway. Normal cholesterol is like round, smooth cars, moving along easily. But when you reheat an egg, especially at a high temperature, you turn those round cars into wrecked cars, full of jagged, sharp pieces of metal. That is junk cholesterol. It no longer moves smoothly. It scrapes and scratches the lining of our blood vessels, creating damage. And it is at those scratches that other pieces of junk begin to stick. Day after day, that pile of junk grows larger. That is how atherosclerosis begins. That is how a food that causes heart attacks is created right inside your microwave. So what do I do now? It's simple. I treat eggs with the respect they deserve. I eat them right after they are cooked. If I've boiled them ahead of time, I will eat them cold or slice them into a salad. I never again allow my friend to be turned into a dangerous pile of scrap metal. Does this image of wrecked cars help you realize the danger of reheating eggs? If yes, please comment with the number 1. If you are still skeptical, comment with the number 2. I sincerely value your honesty. We've talked about meat, and now eggs. Many people will think, well, eating vegetables must be completely safe then. I used to think so, too. But the next traitor on this list is a green vegetable that we all praise as a superfood, and it attacks our heart in a completely different way. In every good story, there's rarely just one villain. Often, they come in pairs. One attacks head-on, making a lot of noise. And the other works silently, sabotaging from within. The 3 enemies we've just unmasked attack the pipes of our blood vessels directly. But this final pair is far more troublesome. They are a perfect couple in the worst possible way. Because they attack us on 2 different fronts, creating a comprehensive burden on the body, and placing our already tired heart right in the crossfire. The first attacker in this pair is the humble potato. The potato is an external attacker. Its danger doesn't lie within the potato itself, but in an invisible army of bacteria that can multiply when we handle it improperly. Especially when a potato is cooked, wrapped in foil, and left to cool slowly at room temperature before being refrigerated. This is a paradise for a type of bacteria that produces a powerful toxin. When we reheat and eat this kind of potato, our body reacts. But this isn't a simple stomach ache. For a body that needs to heal, this is a full-blown emergency. Your entire immune system goes on high alert to fight the toxin. A fire of system-wide inflammation erupts. Imagine this. Your heart is trying to beat gently, steadily. Suddenly, the body's entire alarm system shrieks because of an external invasion. What must the heart do? It has to beat faster, work harder in the middle of a chaotic environment. It's an unnecessary torture we accidentally inflict upon ourselves. And while the external attacker is causing chaos, its accomplice, the mushroom, begins to sabotage from within. Mushrooms are a wonderful food when eaten fresh. But when reheated, their complex protein structure is completely denatured. It becomes a rubbery, indigestible mass. When you eat it, your digestive system struggles. It has to produce more acid, contract more forcefully, trying to break down something it no longer recognizes. This struggle creates immense stress on your gut. And this is critical. Modern medicine has proven a direct link between the gut and the heart, known as the gut-heart axis. An unhealthy, stressed gut will send inflammatory signals throughout the body. And one of the first places to receive that distress signal is the heart. So, you see, one poisons you from the outside, the other exhausts you from the inside. Our heart is caught in the middle. A burden that cannot be ignored. Now, I want to ask you sincerely. Does this information make you reconsider how you store and use leftover potatoes and mushrooms? If yes, please comment with the number 1. If you don't think it's an issue, comment with the number 2. We have now unmasked all 5 enemies. But identifying the enemy is only half the battle. The other half, and the most important part, is how to defeat them. In the next segment, I will share with you my personal battle plan. I know. After hearing me unmask all 5 enemies, I know what many of you are feeling. Confusion. Perhaps a bit overwhelmed. It feels like there are too many things to remember, too many enemies to guard against. It feels like the kitchen, which was once the heart of the home, has now turned into a minefield. I understand, because I have been in the same place. I used to look at my refrigerator with a sense of dread. But then I realized, we cannot live in fear. Fear is also a toxin, it corrodes our minds and ruins our lives. The fight to protect our cardiovascular health is not a battle of elimination. It is a battle of replacement. Replacing bad habits with good ones. Replacing confusion with a clear battle plan. And today, I will give you my plan. It's surprisingly simple. I call it Harold's 3T Kitchen Protocol. The first and most important rule, treasure, fresh. This is not just a rule, it is a philosophy. It means, treat your body with the utmost respect. Give it the freshest, the best, instead of what is left over. It's okay to cook a little less, but cook it and eat it on the same day. This action tells your body, you are important. You deserve the best. That is the most effective mental medicine for lowering blood pressure. The second rule, the rule of intelligence, toss into a salad. This rule says, don't be a slave to the microwave, be an artist in the kitchen. Instead of reheating, reinvent. Yesterday's leftover boiled chicken. Shred it and toss it with lettuce, vegetables, and a little olive oil. A hard-boiled egg. Slice it and place it on a piece of whole grain bread. This way, we not only avoid the danger but also create new dishes that are tastier and more nutritious. We turn a passive act into a proactive one. And the final rule, the rule of kindness, tender, heat. There will be times when we must reheat something. That's life. But even then, we have a choice. Be tender. Instead of executing food in the microwave with high heat, warm it gently on the stovetop. Add a little water or oil, cover it with a lid, and use low heat. The kindness you show your food is the same kindness you are showing your own heart. Ever since I applied this 3T protocol, the vague fear inside me has disappeared. My blood pressure is more stable. My sleep is deeper. Most importantly, I have reclaimed a sense of peace every time I step into my kitchen. Of these 3 rules, treasure, toss, and tender, which one do you feel you could apply most easily starting tomorrow? If it's treasure, please comment with the number 1. If it's toss, comment with number 2. And if it's tender, please comment with number 3. I would love to know where you will begin. Now that you have the battle plan, I will give you the shield to protect it. Join me in the next segment. After my heart attack, I made a promise to my wife. I made a promise to my children. I made a promise to myself. I promised that I would never again be careless with this gift of a second chance. But promises, my friends, promises are like memories. They can fade. On tired days, in rushed moments, it is so easy to forget our promises and fall back into old habits. I knew I needed something. Not just an empty promise. I needed a silent guardian. A sentinel right in my kitchen, to remind me every single day of the vow I made. And this is it. This is my shield. This isn't just a piece of paper. It is my commitment in print. It is the embodiment of the love I have for my family and myself. Every morning, when I go to the fridge to get milk, I see it. And it asks me, today, what will you do to protect your heart? It keeps me on the right path. It transforms my kitchen from a potential minefield into a safe fortress for my cardiovascular health. And today, I want to share this shield with you. I don't want to keep it for myself. I want every one of your kitchens to become a safe fortress, too. I've had my team create a special version for you to download. It is completely free. The link is right in the description below this video. All you need to do is click the link, download it, print it out, and put it on your refrigerator door. Let it become your sentinel. Does the idea of a kitchen shield like this make you feel more empowered and at ease? If yes, please comment with the number 1. If you feel it's unnecessary, comment with the number 2. I truly want to know if this weapon is useful to you. Do this not just for you. Do it for your spouse. For your children and grandchildren who still need you here, healthy and full of life. We are almost at the end of our journey. In the final segment, we will look back and summarize everything so that you never forget today's lessons. After my heart attack, I made a promise to my wife. I made a promise to my children. I made a promise to myself. I promised that I would never again be careless with this gift of a second chance. But promises, my friends, promises are like memories. They can fade. On tired days, in rushed moments, it is so easy to forget our promises and fall back into old habits. I knew I needed something. Not just an empty promise. I needed a silent guardian. A sentinel right in my kitchen, to remind me every single day of the vow I made. And this is it. This is my shield. This isn't just a piece of paper. It is my commitment in print. It is the embodiment of the love I have for my family and myself. Every morning, when I go to the fridge to get milk, I see it. And it asks me, today, what will you do to protect your heart? It keeps me on the right path. It transforms my kitchen from a potential minefield into a safe fortress for my cardiovascular health. And today, I want to share this shield with you. I don't want to keep it for myself. I want every one of your kitchens to become a safe fortress, too. I've had my team create a special version for you to download. It is completely free. The link is right in the description below this video. All you need to do is click the link, download it, print it out, and put it on your refrigerator door. Let it become your sentinel. Does the idea of a kitchen shield like this make you feel more empowered and at ease? If yes, please comment with the number 1. If you feel it's unnecessary, comment with the number 2. I truly want to know if this weapon is useful to you. Do this not just for you. Do it for your spouse. For your children and grandchildren who still need you here, healthy and full of life. We are almost at the end of our journey. In the final segment, we will look back and summarize everything so that you never forget today's lessons. When I began this journey of discovery, I felt like I was stepping into a dark cellar. Everything was vague and frightening. Each new piece of information was like another fork in the road, and I didn't know which path led to an exit and which led to a dead end. But today, at the end of this journey, you have found the switch and turned on the lights together. The cellar is no longer scary. Now, we have unmasked the 5 hidden traitors in our familiar foods. The reheated chicken, the one that pours sugar cement into our arteries. The reheated egg, the creator of junk cholesterol. The recooked spinach, the one that uses an industrial cleaner to erode our artery walls. And the troublesome pear, potatoes and mushrooms, the ones that attack our heart on 2 fronts. But more important than identifying the enemy is that we now hold the map to escape the maze. That is the 3T protocol: treasure, fresh, toss, into a salad, and tender, heat. A simple plan to turn fear into action. Do you remember the beginning of the video? I told you about the fear I felt when I heard the heartbeat. But now, it's different. Ever since I reclaimed control of my kitchen, everything has changed. The beat in my chest is no longer the sound of fear. It is the melody of life. It is my heart's way of saying thank you, because finally, it is being listened to and protected properly. Now, I want to ask you one last question. After watching this entire video, do you feel more in control of your heart health? Do you feel more peaceful and empowered? If the answer is yes, please comment with the number 1. If you still feel uncertain, please comment with the number 2. I will read every single one of your comments. If this video has brought you value, please give it a like to let me know, and subscribe to the channel so we don't miss each other on this journey. And more importantly, please share this video. Send it to a friend, a loved one. Who knows, this gift of knowledge might be exactly what they need to find their peace. And don't forget to download your kitchen shield. Let it become your companion starting today. Thank you for listening to my story. I will see you in the next video.